Okay there, howdy ho.
Hi there.
Sorry for being late. 30 seconds late, sorry for that. How's it going? My name is Jarek.
My name's Simon.
So we just want to say hello to Kacper. But no, in general, welcome to our lovely bi-weekly AMA. Ask me anything, ask us anything basically, regarding other projects, regarding the stuff that is upcoming. Basically, any questions about the business or any other questions you have in mind, just keep them coming. Obviously, as always, we have collected several questions from social media and from Discord, actually. So we're going to go through them. And later we will straight away come back to your questions here from the stream. Right. Oh, by the way, I moved AMA to Friday. I think it's going to be better. Usually when we finish like late on Thursday, I still have to work like yourself on Friday. So I think it's going to be better at this stage when we're going to do Friday for some time. And then maybe we're going to switch back to Thursday. That's okay with you?
It's not really up to me though, is it?
Yeah. Right. Let me just check something quickly whether camera works. Okay, so today I've got something to show you. Oh no, it's not. I'll try to fix just in a second. So we're gonna go through questions. Oh no, my camera is not working for some reason. Okay, let's go through this first. So these are the projects. This is the projects we can answer any questions about. Obviously, we have Porthaven. I'm a little bit worried now that my camera is not going to work. It needs to work because I've got something to show you today. So it's going to be kind of disaster if not. Quake, the board game, Heroes, obviously, Starcraft is the other project. Trench Crusade, if you do have any questions. World of Tanks, Heroes, the card game, and Duskhollow. That's the main ones. That's the main one which are happening at the moment. Sorry, I'm looking at the chat. I'm just seeing some questions which, we're gonna have to answer some stuff. Okay, maybe Shimon ask check the question.
Yeah. So I would like, so this is from the Discord, Manzoku. I would like to ask if there is a group for Heroes of Might and Magic, the board game. There is a Facebook group actually where you can join. There's tons of people talking about the game there. Alternatively, of course, we do have our Discord server where, you can interact with the rest of the community. There's also like a whole map editor section where you can post like community created content or have a look at what others have made. So yeah, there's plenty of places to join up.
Yep.
Next question from Duskhollow. For Duskhollow, considering we'll get 3 times more walls according to the last update to build with, will we also see more floors? Otherwise, 3 times half walls instead of 1x full wall won't be that much of a good deal.
My camera is not working. Yeah. So this discussion about the short walls, right? Considering, just can you read it out again?
Yeah, considering that we'll get 3 times more walls, according to the last update to build with, will we also see more floors? Otherwise, 3x half walls instead of 1x full wall won't be that much of a good deal.
What we're trying to do at the moment with everything, so you get more because you can create small rooms, and then you're gonna get external walls, which they basically are being used as a normal walls, the building walls, right? So that's what it is. I think the deal will be great. It's good. Whether we're gonna have more floors, it's not required because, as I mentioned, its whole idea is about creating corridors inside the structures. I don't know why my lovely phone is not trying to connect it. Let me just Shimon, carry on.
Yeah, so another question from the Discord. For Duskhollow, can we at least get a full set of 6 full-size door walls or some adapters to complete the half-wall door to be ugly? Oh, that's a bit sad to hear. And hope till the very end to see actual options to appear. I understand if you can't do it with regular walls, but please at the very least include a way to complete the doorways, even if it requires glue. I mean, this is again something that we can maybe consider for like maybe add-ons. We'll have to see. Again, this product is meant to be more geared towards strictly RPG gamers, which is I guess kind of what we're trying to again aim for in this campaign. But yeah, it's something we can consider, maybe look into. We have to look at our technologist as well. Ask him if like we can make something like that even, because it will probably require a bit of work.
Yeah.
Especially since, like, you know, every doorway I assume has different like angles and whatnot. And for DNL, would you consider adding Lego compatible anti-studs and or bar holes? Unfortunately, no. We're not really planning on adding anything like this compatible with other, well, completely different products. For example, Lego.
Yeah, I don't think the Lego would, in any way, shape or form work. Basically, sorry for that. Sorry for flicking through. I'm just checking what's going on with my lovely camera. My lovely camera it's not responding. So let's carry on.
To my knowledge, the Lego system is also it's copyrighted as well. To my knowledge,
yes, it is.
You can't make like.
Yeah.
Starcraft, will the narrative campaign adapt a previous Starcraft story, or will it be an original story? So the way the narrative campaign is going to work, it's more along the lines of every player just picks a faction and they try and spread their influence across the galaxy. It's not going to be like a true narrative in the sense that you're building like you're following a specific story. It's more just about the I guess experience you have with the other players and how you like develop your own faction. But yeah, it won't be canon as well. A lot of it, well, everything in this game is technically non-canon. Simply because we're just basing it off of like a whole bunch of other stuff, a whole bunch of stuff that's in the games, like you know, the Overmind fighting, like the Dominion. It's technically like not canon, but you can do that in the game if you want to.
That is correct.
And Starcraft, can you tell us what individual boxes will be available at launch? Will all items in the Founders set also be available as separate boxes day one? Yes, they will be, right?
Yeah, sorry, we're having some small technical difficulties today for some reason, and I think I know why. I know definitely why. So just give me 1 second. I hope it's not stream won't disconnect. Just 1 sec.
Anyways, yeah. All of the individual models that are going to be available in the Founders box, you can buy them separately. That's not an issue.
So yes, not only that, because we're also gonna have like wave number 1 things that's gonna be also released on the same time. So things like Goliath, things like Hydras, and as well as the Stalkers. So these models which are also gonna be available with wave number 1. On top of that, everything you're gonna find in starter boxes, you will find as well. In the what's the name? As individual models. I'm very sorry for lagging. I found the root cause. I don't know if it's gonna be stabilized. I hope it's going to stabilize the stream. Found the root cause and problems, and for that one, I don't know the reasons. I don't know if I have to disconnect it or not. Give me just one. It's not normal that we're having so many difficulties. Like last week, the stream was basically cut, and this time I'm getting some small problems with it. Can you see us? Can you hear us? Everything is fine? I see the chat is working, so it should be fine. Oh, kurwa, what internet? Could be, yes. That was the problem. I was actually only on Wi-Fi only, and I needed to reconnect it through Ethernet. And I was wondering whether something is gonna crash or not. I hope it didn't, and I can see you. We can actually move on. But I don't know if my camera is gonna work. I don't think so. I'm looking at my camera at the moment. It's not. Let me try it again. We will see. Anyhow, let's move on to the next questions. Audio is fine now. Okay, that's great. So maybe the Mac handled this one somehow. So we can move on to the next questions. Let's have a look. What's the next? That's the big one.
So, Starcraft miniatures game. A lot of campaign units are simply variants of standard ones. Will you try to make those variant units look as close as possible to the video game, or will you try to make them more unique and distinct? I'd say a lot of the campaign units, if you look closer on the model, they are actually like visibly quite different. Maybe it's not as visible when you look from like a bird's eye view when you're playing the game, but if you check the actual model, I do think that they're relatively different. And I mean, definitely in the future, it's just good to have models of it.
Yeah,
I'd say it's a different unit, so yeah. I don't see the issue. For competitive play, to which extent will what you see is what you get be enforced? For example, will I be able to play my corpses as regular roaches?
I mean, as long as you're going to agree with your, we're not forcing anything on you. It's gonna be, when you say competitive, sometimes it means that it needs to go through like tournament rules. We're not planning to release tournament rules at this stage till we get up to wave number 2. And the main reason is we need a little bit more time to get everything solidified. B, we need to have more releases. I believe, not only believe, I mean, after discussion with many game designers, we all agree on the same page that in order to have a very good competitive scene, you just have to have some variety of the models available to have different kind of like openings and meta in this game. So we're gonna have to wait for that. But going back to your original question, what you see, what you get, I would say it's gonna be depending on the tournament pack and on the tournament organizers. If they're strictly going to say it is what it is, you're going to have to go with what you see, what you get. If not, then no. So yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Are all the secondary miniatures, such as the Roachling, Burrow units, Creep Tumors, Force Field, Adept Shades, included in the Founders/Starter box alongside their matching units? Yes, they are.
No. Wait, hold on.
Not all. Specifically, the Founders Edition for the Roaches, it doesn't contain the strains for them, right? Yes,
it does not, because the box was actually, once you get a box, you will understand why. The box is fully up to the lead with the models and miniatures, so we couldn't put any more models inside the boxes. Burrow unit, yes, every single sprue, every single model which actually has got Burrow will have that token on the sprue itself, so you don't have to buy nothing additional. Cryptomer are provided with a queen, so if you're going to buy the queen, and with the queen you will find in the Founders Edition box, you will have Cryptomor enough, like 8 of them per queen. So if you buy another queen, you have 16. You're never gonna need 16, but you can use them for, I don't know, making fancy terrain or what's not. Adept Shade, yes, this is part of your model, and so it's a part of the shape model because it's a playable element you put on a table. It does things, and same for the force field. So you get actually 2 force fields in the box, force field in a box. So yeah.
Why do you feel like it is important gameplay-wise to have random charge distance? Question for you.
It's not random. It's not very random, guys. It's not. I mean, we had this discussion as well several times. Look, so how the charge works, right? So normally you select a model, which is your leading model, and then you measure the distance, and then you make a roll off. And in most of the cases, is the charge on 2+ or 3+, right? So it's not very random. You need to have that element of, I believe, kind of randomness, because otherwise the game became chess. There's no risk factor, there's no reward factor in the game. So you have ways of mitigate that risk by activating some cards or using some additional resources to do this or that, or increasing the movement speed of the unit. And in the same time, you have to have the way of countering charge. So if that number wasn't random, we wouldn't be able to have any other special abilities on your opponent, in your opponent portfolio, to counter any type of charges. So that's simple reason. It's a game design reason. But excuse me. But it's not random like you would have. I mean, you would think like, okay, so it's like 2d6, for instance. No, it's not. You have your movement distance plus d6. So effectively, you get a range normally from 5 till 11, something like that, plus minus some additional modifiers. So yeah, and most of the cases you are very close to opponent anyway after the movement, so your charge distance is quite a lot. We were thinking about reducing it, but it's gonna stay as it is now.
In the long run and on average, what will be the proportions of faction-specific versus race-specific units in each faction roster?
I don't know. On the long run, I think
I'd say
a lot.
it depends on the faction, probably, right? Because some factions have entirely faction-specific units, while others probably don't. Like Primal Zug are probably, well, they should be made up of 100% Primal Zug. And if we ever do make like Tychus as his own faction, he's only going to be Tychus and his outlaws, and probably not like the rest of the regular Terran units.
Yeah. But in general, you may expect most of the heroes from the game to be available, and for all of the heroes which they belong to the sub-faction, we will have sub-faction cards. And it's not only that. What is clever about this system, and this is what we just had a chat with Sam Pearson the other day, and what he also likes, is that the difference between I'm gonna have my camera on. The difference between this game and other games you'll find is that we will release a faction card, and that faction card, it's really going to change a lot the way you play that faction. You may there's no limit for this type of cards we can release. So effectively, like. So Zerg versus Zerg, it's never going to be the same game if we're both going to play slightly different factions. And because of there's so many heroes, we can release so many different faction cards. I would say you will have like 6 or 7 variety per faction. And if needed, we can always release more cards for the same faction. So it'll give you even 2 options to play your army completely different on the table. Not only that, for Zerg, for instance, we have different way of how creep works in a game. So you're not only going to select a faction card, you're also going to be selecting the way how creep operates for your faction on the table. So there's lots of things, guys, lots of things which I think I'm very excited about this, and especially about the future, how we're going to be developing this game and how it's going to be won. But we have left open many doors at the moment for this game to grow into something really, really interesting.
Gameplay-wise, is there any point in collecting multiple pylons, Nidus worms, or point defense drones?
No.
For specifically these factions, probably not now.
So the whole reason. So how are you going to buy pylon? Pylon is gonna be with Artanis miniature, but you need that one model. You don't need any more hero models than one. So what we decided to combine, just to save you some dollar, to combine both of these elements, because you just need one of them. So the pylon is coming with the hero. Same with the Nidus Worm. Nidus Worm is provided with Kerrigan, and point defense is with Jim Raynor. So you just buy one model because it's a hero, and that's it. You don't need any more. So you don't have to buy multiple Nidus Worms because we ask you to, or whatever. We try to do something like hide something behind the paint wall. What's the next one?
You mentioned before that workers won't be a core part of the game.
I mean, we have this ability to add, we call them tactical cards at the moment. So those cards are different strategy cards, and they also are like a building cards. They do have this specific special ability which you can activate on a unit or what's not. But we can in the future release something like that, like this, like additional cards which they're gonna be workers instead of being like we have a pylon, right? We have additional pylon cards. We have like super depot. We do have overload. So those things are available in the game. So we can always make additional cards like that. Yeah. But for the miniatures, I don't know. I don't think we don't see any use for that, because the way the game operates. I mean, yes, we can always deploy them with supply 0, and they could do something on a battlefield. But there's no specific room for them. Maybe, just maybe, I'm saying, in the future when we're going to be doing more narrative style games and releases in the boxes, when you got some terrain, you got some booklet with narrative missions, maybe there you will find some worker models just to use them for something. Yeah. You remember, guys, when you were trying to design like narrative game and with workers, everything that wasn't working at all?
I mean, we never.
Collecting minerals. There was like the narrative where you have like patches of minerals, and your models were going on that patches of minerals, and so on. It was
Something wasn't working. We just never got time to work on it.
Okay.
We had to immediately, Starcraft. Will you be able to do a second round of game testing for those who missed the opportunity to apply for the first time around?
Yes, we will do that. We will do that. We will see how many people at the moment out of just the gaming groups. I think there was 60 gaming groups we sent email to at the moment. We invited 60. I've been told half of the groups already replied that they are interested. There was some document to sign off. And apologies for last week update when I was mentioned there's no NDA for the groups. It must be NDA for the groups because we find out. Quite frankly, we find out some of the groups were just thinking about the selling miniatures when they received them or something like that. So it wasn't the way how this meant to work. So because of some of the groups thinking it's a very childish approach, then we just have to treat them as a kid. So we need like NDA or something to sign, at least for the miniatures. So we needed to put some documents in there.
Also, please note, please don't reach out to us personally about getting into playtests. It doesn't make it easier for us. If playtests are ever available again, it will be announced through our social media platforms. Yeah. I just want to get that out of the way.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes. So yeah.
Starcraft, will the Nidus be sold separately as well?
No, Nidus will be only available with Kerrigan. So again, in the Founders Edition box you will find Nidus, and you will find separately if you want to buy Kerrigan separately. And by the way, this approach will be with all the heroes. So all the future heroes will have something additionally, which means only one, like element. So yeah.
Can you please add unit sounds to the list building app? I want to tap a unit in Miami and then on my phone and randomly get one of their in-game sounds.
It's a cool idea, but I think it's going to take us a long time to get approved. So I will just, at this stage, leave it as it is. Maybe in the future, maybe even the next edition of Army Builder app.
And again for StarCraft, for competitive play, can you base your miniatures on a non-Archon base that matches 1-to-1 with the base size?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is a specific section in the rule. So verticality for the models is not important. You can actually base your model the way you want. We operate in the game it's so-called size. So each of the models got dedicated size, and then terrain's got the dedicated size. And this is how the line of sight operate in the game. So if you're going to put model on an inch or 2-inch base vertically up, it doesn't really matter, but the most important is the footprint. So the footprint of the base needs to be exactly the same as it is in the game. And majority of the models, they use 32mm bases, round bases. So that's the smallest one we have in the game. And up to 120mm, 150mm for bigger things. Yeah. Should we go quickly here, because I can see there's lots of questions, and especially for all, also for the other project side. Mm-hmm. Shimon, would you like to answer some questions here? Waiting for my shipping confirmation. Patience, yes. So that's probably for heroes. So would you like to give them update about the heroes quickly?
Yeah, I mean the most recent update came out today. Shipment is ongoing. Green Logistics does plan to start shipping out 2nd of February, I believe. And, well, they estimate that it's probably going to take around about until the end of February or March, we'll have to see, for them to finish. And meanwhile, for the US, Quartermaster Logistics is still shipping out pledges. And but like a week or two before your pledge is shipped, you will receive an email confirmation or an address confirmation email.
Yeah, there was delay at the Green Logistics. The last info I got from the Green Logistics, the reason behind this one, and this is basically like, it's a normal things when you run the business. Something goes wrong always. The problem was that the games were packed in China, and they were packed the way that when they opened the container, they couldn't figure it out what is exactly in the container. So now imagine, you have 16 containers, 16 containers. Each of them is bloody hell, 6 meter long, or maybe 8 meter long, full of games. You have to remove every single one, check what is exactly in there, count them exactly what is there. Like there was like 30,000 individual parcels counted by them. So it's crazy. So this is why they needed to spend some more time on doing those things. We did have a chat with what happened, but we didn't get the feedback yet from Chinese manufacturer why they packed the games the way they packed. So Happens, guys. Happens always. There's no easy going in the business.
For Starcraft, do you envision competitive lists requiring heroes to be viable, or do you think lists without hero units will play well?
I think heroes, depending on your playstyle. So what's good about this game is you have your own openings. So like yesterday, we had a game Protoss versus Zerg when Protoss was actually having the least on for the early game, and yeah, he was actually knocking the Terran till the halfway through when Terran actually had a late game least and was pushing back him. So it's really depending on your playstyle, the way you have ability to put more units and different type of units, and that's what it is. So depending on your playstyle, sometimes hero is not going to pay back. It's not going to pay back. When majority of heroes, when you're going to take it in this game, they are more, well, they are also tank heroes, don't get me wrong, but they main role is actually support, more like support than actually combat. So that was the whole idea. And then the hero allows you to take a different faction card, but the vanilla vanilla cards are actually quite strong as well. So again, depending on your playstyle.
Hi team, last stream you mentioned that there will be one big branded title a year. Does this mean that you're moving Heroes Battles to 2027 and you're doing Heroes 3? That was specifically for board games.
Yeah.
We're still going to be releasing our other games as planned. But yeah, board game, like big board game releases will move to once a year.
Yeah, we move strategy slightly. I mean, if you're going to, if you want to know information, I did like Ask Me Anything couple just before Christmas or after Christmas, when I did explain the strategy, the future strategy for this company. But in general, we're moving away from making like 3-4 different board games a year into one big AAA board game, and then most of the products will be made to plastic injection miniatures models, so tabletop miniatures games.
In your last live stream, you mentioned more chances to order the Promo Zeratul model. Can you say exactly when another chance will come?
Yeah,
during Adepticon is the next.
Yeah, Adepticon, right? And actually pre-orders. So when we're going to open pre-orders, you will be able to get it. So I think around about February, March, something like that. Okay.
Were the testers for Starcraft separated into two groups, like you said in the previous AMA? How are they chosen? Does one group receive actual models to play?
So, as I mentioned, 60 groups. So there were groups which we managed to confirm they actually exist in. We have some groups which they're not existing and they pretend to be group. So this is not cool again. And that was the reason why we decided to put some paper in I don't know. It's my naiveness, basically, thinking that whatever. So that was the things. We needed to filter the groups out and see whether the groups actually existing or not, whether the model is gonna. They can play always the game with their own miniatures and provide the feedback through the feedback app. On that, we have around about 1,800 people which want to see kind of rules and maybe provide feedback to the rules, which means we're gonna have to get people into batches, and then obviously if we're not going to see much feedback coming through, we will definitely open up for more people after the first initial batch is being introduced to the application for the beta application.
I'm not really aware of the plastic injection process, but I know you make models that you can assemble with glue, but would it be possible to make push-fit ones or even something similar to Gunpla?
Yeah, maybe in the future. At the moment, the push fit takes a lot of time, a lot of engineering efforts. We have this technology. We've made like sample miniatures and models with push fit technology. The plan was to make push fit for Starcraft. However, this project at this stage is too big to actually make it push fit, and it would take us another 2 years of development to be there. So we still have to wait. I mean, if you think about any other company like Games Workshop, they have 18 months to develop miniatures and models and put them in the... We know we definitely... So, yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure if you've answered this, but the forcing of half-walls in DNL 7 has sparked a bit of controversy. Will the half-walls be mandatory or optional?
I don't know yet. I had this discussion with project manager today just to see what I would like to do. We would like to send a survey out and see what the people are going to say, because I can see lots of comments, but we really don't know what's the biggie here about half walls. I mean, I remember when we did like a first Dungeon Lasers campaign, there was loads of comments about why we're not doing half walls. Why we only doing the tall walls? You remember that? You should maybe don't remember. You wasn't here, but there was loads of that was the big controversy. People saying, "Oh, I don't need any tall walls because when I play, I don't see anything which is behind the wall," and all those things. All of a sudden, that's changed. So I'm trying to understand what's happened there and how we're going to be reacting to this. So how we should react to this, whether my marketing needs to go there and collect data and information from you guys and bring it back and say, look, this is what people tell us to do. So, and we will do exactly what you guys are going to tell us, because at the end of the day, you are the customer. You're going to buy this product or not. So. Yeah, Shimon provide the information about Heroes of Might and Magic shipping. If you're late to the party, you can repeat if you want, starting next week. Oh, yes, that's correct. But
yeah, I mean, and also as well, if you received an email from us previously, it's still going to be shipped with Green Logistics, as mentioned in today's update.
Yeah.
It's still part of the first wave.
Yeah.
I have some questions for Starcraft. Are you planning to offer finished figures? No, they're not going to be pre-assembled or pre-painted or anything like that. They're just going to come on sprues, and that's the only real way we're going to be offering them.
Yeah. How often you expect to be balancing the rules? I think every maybe 6 months, or really more frequently if that is needed. Again, this is brand new game. This game has mechanics you wouldn't find in other games, so we have to. It's kind of, if I didn't mention this on the last live stream, if we create a game which combines several different rules from other game into one, I wouldn't be worried about it, because I know they've been already like proof tests, so like kind of evolution process through other companies which they use these rules and then fix it because something was wrong. In our game, 80% of the rules are quite unique, which you wouldn't find them in other games. So here the problem is that we need to make sure that the game at the get-go is good and there's no big problems balancing. That's the reason why we're trying to do the biggest play test ever. Nobody ever done such a big play tests. But in the same time, we have to be quite honest with us and say every 6 months we need to revisit whether it requires some errata or rules balancing. But expect this to happen. Expect if something is wrong and if something is like out of the points, we will fix it. And by the way we are balancing the units, we're absolutely using math. We don't use like, I think this should cost XYZ, never. And even through playtesting, everything we do by math. So they should be not maybe perfectly balanced, but in the perfect conditions on a table. When you have a unit against the unit, not terrain, what's not, when they fight each other, they both should die at the same time. That's the way we balance the units. And yeah, obviously it's not happening at the same time because we have different structures, but you guys know what I mean. Yeah, do you see any questions that we should ask?
I mean,
let's go for more questions here.
Is the Prismacast ship sprue color set in stone already, the reddish material? I ask because if it isn't, maybe a more generic looking ship would be possible and better as the Prismacast option, like the one in the photo.
The main problem is that the sprues were made in a reddish brown color, just to basically use it as a base color for anything printing. So I know our engineer is still working on the colors, just making sure Przemek is still working on the colors, just to make sure that they fit what we basically told you and showed you. Once we have it, we will share it definitely. We'll reveal everything. So once this is solidified, we will definitely tell you.
Yeah, I mean, but he's asking about like the base color of the sprue. Like, that's locked in now, right?
It's locked in, yes, locked in. So because we made them, we have like full warehouse of the sprues. I cannot basically get them now remade. So yeah. Let's go Duskhollow.
Yeah, Duskhollow Porthaven with hints of Starcraft. Will pre-orders for Starcraft with pre-orders for Starcraft seemingly move back to the beginning of March from the originally announced date end of January, start of February? How did your plans for shipping Porthaven and launching Duskhollow change?
Duskhollow is really delayed now, so if it's probably gonna happen, it probably happen in a halfway of March or probably end of the March or maybe in April. So we don't know yet because it's still being scoped and it's still being processed. So that's it. Porthaven, we don't know. I don't know. I will know more once we start pre-orders for Starcraft. Once I know the numbers, because we don't know. It might be 10,000 units, it might be 50,000 units. If it's 50,000 units, we have problem we have to address. And that problem will be basically making sure that we have enough people for packing and shipping. So I will know more when we started the pre-orders. So that's it.
Starcraft, will there be VIII or ST2 version and or the double Psionic Scythe Templar with Sir Gamma Zeratai clan? Yeah, I mean definitely VIII. As for any of the other stuff that's mentioned in the lore, then yeah, again in the future, definitely more than likely to appear. Probably not near launch or anytime in this year, but yeah, you can probably expect it in the future. I have some questions for Starcraft. When we go all in and pre-order, but we get the discount because of the beta, will we get a refund? Can we build groups after we are chosen for the beta?
I'm pretty sure that anything like discount codes, they're gonna be shipped out to you before pre-orders. Before pre-orders happen, that's for sure. Because before pre-orders happens, we need enough feedback to fix the things we need to fix in the rules. And yeah, so
yeah. And as for the second question, only the people mentioned in the document we sent that you wrote down, only those people can take part in the playtest as well. That's also important to mention.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Starcraft again.
When will we have the full rules and unit costs / profiles for people not in the beta?
Probably when we go to start beta, you will find them straight away on the internet. That's the reality. That's the reality of those things. So they're gonna be in the building up. So people are gonna be sharing them. I don't mind people sharing them, to be honest. The rules are rules, and more people are gonna be picking on it, and better for us because then it will give us some good feedback to actually work on them. Yeah, that's it. The NDA which we ask for, it's not to make sure there's no screenshot happening whatsoever from the app, but the data itself, you can download it always. You can download PDF of the rules, and you can download all those other things. So it's okay. It's not a problem. Pictures will be different. If you playtest as a group, then if you're going to take any pictures, everything needs to be approved by us. If you want to share any picture, it needs to be sent back to us because we need to make sure there's nothing in the background which might upset. Basically, it's a licensed product, so we have to be careful about it.
Question for the future: what can we expect earlier? Heroes battles or the next new 3 factions for Heroes board game?
I got one sneaky peek. We're gonna be there in the sneaky peek just in case, just in a minute. Just stay tuned. Stay on the line for a sec. Playmat in the starter looks familiar to the one I own from Battle System. Is that the same? No, it's not. That one you mentioned is neoprenemat. We don't do neoprenemat. It's completely different material. It's something nobody else done it. So it's kind of developed by us and the other Polish company. So yeah, it's cool stuff. It's really cool stuff. So, and it's affordable. So that means we can actually give it in the box.
Will the Dishonored board game happen this year?
It is still on a plan. It is on a planning. Everything else going very, very slowly at the moment because we needed to pull like all the resources from the company into StarCraft just to finish it off. But once we have released on this release, and then we can assign the resources back where they're supposed to be for other projects.
Which Starcraft kits will be available on the pre-order day? All of the kits, to my knowledge.
Yes, all of the kits. You will find you're going to find a Founders Edition kits. You're going to find one-player starter boxes if you want to just something else. You're gonna find a individual miniature boxes, and you're gonna find wave number 1, which is made of Goliath, Hydra, and the Stalkers, and also heroes. You'll be able to buy individual heroes. So if you want to start with something small, we will have, all the variety for you. Just to mention, the Founders Edition box is a limited box. It won't happen never again. So it's just, if you're gonna get it, it's only that time to get it. The value of that box is crazy, so definitely worth it.
So this is from Facebook. First of all, thank you for what you're doing. Starcraft was my childhood, and miniature games were my teenage years. I don't think I've ever been this hyped for a game. A few questions. In the previous AMA, you mentioned that there will be box bundles. Are you considering a mega bundle? Yes, we will have mega bundles as well available during pre-orders. And in the last AMA, you said that it won't be possible to play multiple factions as a single army. However, in the past, you mentioned that Amon's forces, especially hybrids, on your to-do list. Would Amon's forces allow an army that combines Protoss, Terran, and Zerg units, and possibly their Void versions? Well, I mean, yes, but this would be like a different faction, and we would just work differently. But just combining them just as you like won't be like something that you can do in the rules. In the last time, you mentioned that you're planning some kind of program for people who enjoy running demos. Do you have updates on that?
Say again, the last one? Sorry.
In the last AMA, you mentioned that you're planning some kind of program for people who enjoy running demos. Do you have any updates on that?
So, once again? In the last summer, you mentioned that you're planning to some kind of program for... No, I don't have update for that one today. That's going to be on one of the project manager head when he's back. So we will pass over on, we'll give that task to him. But we did like a kind of tournament packs for Battleground, but this game requires something else. This game requires demo people to be available there, yeah.
And for people who filled out the playtester application form and haven't received any email yet, is the selection process complete, or should there be additional waves in the future?
No, only at the moment we send out to groups. So to the large groups of people who's going to be playtesting the game. So this is where we send the what's the name? The games to. So rest of the teams, rest of the people will have to wait for individual email to come through, and the deadline was about 4th to 5th February. So I should have all the data plot into app by that time, at least to the level when I think is acceptable for you to actually go through it and test it and play the game. Oh, this is small teaser. This is the teaser I've mentioned. So my team asked me just to show you this picture and say nothing. So I say nothing.
Will the Founders Edition boxes be available temporarily or in quantity? It's temporarily. We're not going to be putting a cap on how many orders we're going to take. But they will only be available during the pre-order phase.
Yeah. I haven't received the email 4 days ago coming to me to the beta. I haven't received anything else yet. Should I have already been sent NDA? I think NDA was in email.
It should be attached to the email, yeah.
It's attached to the email. Just have a look. There's NDA attached to the email. There was one more follow-up email just for clarification that if you want to take some photos of miniatures and paint miniatures, you want to post them, it needs to go through us because it needs to go into the approval process, but that's about it. I can appreciate from an aesthetic point of view the full walls do not better. However, those using for actual play will appreciate the half wall. Okay. Yeah,
when it comes to support columns, they are already planned as well as an add-on, so you can...
I've got assembled over there. It's my camera should now be fully working, so we're gonna go through this. Look. This is what we have. This is the old set, but in general, when you lift it up, which I just didn't, but if you lift it up, that's how it's gonna look inside. And I will show you the bottom floor as well, because the bottom floor is much better. You can see there's no limitation in terms of how you can stack them up. And in the last update, we showed everything on the pictures, and there was a jar, not jar. What was it? Yeah, it was
honey jar.
Honey jar, yeah, on top of it, and wasn't collapsing. So it wasn't like it was a real photo. Okay. Cool. Camera, miniatures, and pictures. So I want to show you those things. Let me just maybe do slightly different this time around. If I'm gonna go like this, can we go like that? So I don't want to show you too much. Can we click on this? Okay. So I hope the camera is not going to be shaky. A little bit different today. I just want to start with the miniatures to show you some. Wyłączysz, Szymon, ten chat? Yeah, as I thought, the camera is lagging, but at least it's working. So have to fix it next time. So that's one dragon. You probably have seen that one already. That's the second dragon. And that big boy. That's the new stuff we've made. So, actually quite a good model.
Oh, because some people have mentioned that they were chosen for playtests, but they don't receive models. Yes, so those people didn't receive a document or an NDA because you're not receiving a physical miniatures, which is the difference.
Okay.
At least from what I can see here.
But we did send email to people that are gonna be part of it without models. I thought we only meant to do. We only meant to do those playtesters first. Okay, fine. Let's go quickly around. I want to show you this. So, Szymon, jak tam kamera? Dobrze?
Yeah, looks good.
So that's the sails. Finally, we have like a final version of the sails you're gonna get with this model. You probably have seen this model several times. We also have that model here. So that's the ghost ship. And the sails for it, not so great, but I think it's gonna do. Obviously, you're gonna find the sails for the rest of the thingies, but that's what it is. Okay. We're gonna move to this one just in a second. Okay, I just want to show you how that one works once we're there. Oh.
Yeah, the presentation turned off.
Presentation turned off. Why?
I don't know. You pressed the button.
I pressed the button. That was something. I pressed the button. Press the button. I pressed the button back. So it should for streaming. Let's have a look what else we have. And that's Duskhollow. This is what I show you, and then we can move actually to Duskhollow. Let's move on to Duskhollow. Let me just move here, share this. Okay. So that's the curved walls, that's the new stuff. That's the lovely tower. Obviously this is just placeholder, but we just printed out placeholders for those bits to be, obviously gonna put all details, but just wanna show you how everything assembled. Now this is a massive gate. That gate will also is gonna be available. I've seen the concept today, so the team is actually gonna work on those things as well. Functional doors, this is new addition for...
They can't see from that angle.
Oh, you cannot see from that angle. We're gonna get there in a second. So these are the old one. So you probably have them, but we just want to show you that they're actually gonna be working with the fully functional. They can work with the old system. So backwards compatibility. Let's remove that with my hands. I should have two hands to remove this. Okay, so let me just remove the bottom floor. And this is inside.
Yeah, it's also important to mention that you can use the new curved walls in all sorts of different ways. So you can place them internally as shown here. You can make like a huge tower out of them, as we saw a second ago.
Yeah.
But you can also use them like just like the half or a quarter of them to make like curves.
That's your trap. So we're going to add several different things you haven't seen. You haven't seen it yet in the previous DNL. So functional walls, and so some of them might have function, like this one, for instance, being a trap, right? So that's that. You have functional doors, so those things, and as I mentioned, so you can use half of the tower to make those things, and quarter of the tower to make walls like that. So again, we haven't done it like that before in the past. So that's first time, the first approach. That is the that's the top. So you're gonna have new thingies around the what's the name, the roofs. Looking inside. Sorry for me, I'm very clumsy. And yeah, so and then obviously it's fully stackable, so you can have different levels and so on. That is also here, different levels. You have stairs. That's the new stairs we have designed. Right, so, and then I'll try to, with one hand, it should be all fine. It should be. Okay, it's actually assembled properly. So this is the bottom level. Right, so that's how it looks. So you have a functional door, which I don't know whether they'll function, but they probably glue it too much. Because they were gluing it today, so that's probably what it is. And then, yeah, that's what it is. And then you have those leading this way. Well, actually, not this actually.
With these dwarven walls, so some of the walls here, they're from previous sets. Just as an example of, you can just use previous stuff from older campaigns if you want to as well.
Exactly. So that's it. Then obviously completely new design. We have changed a lot of design. I just want to show you from this angle because I think this angle will be much more interesting. So that's the reason why we put them half walls, is to see what's behind it, basically, for the gameplay. We did that with caves as well, so it wasn't a big case with the caves. Yeah. Okay. It's gonna be all for the camera today. Next one, we're gonna have to fix all the technical issues and problems we have at the moment. Okay, let's move on through some questions. Where was the last one we finished? Oh yeah, that was like 1 kilogram honey jar, and then it was actually here on the floor, so fully supported, so no problem whatsoever. Cool.
Do you foresee supply issues for the Founders Edition? Will everyone be able to get a copy? Will there be a limit on individual orders? And finally, will there be anything in place to stop scalpers?
So let's kind of be honest here. How many copies you guys we think we're gonna sell? How many copies you think we should make? Because I'm struggling with understanding here from my team really when we talk about that, and I'm very excited for this game, to be honest. But this is a tabletop miniatures games, right? Tabletop miniatures games. So when company like Games Workshop release a new edition of the largest game ever, which is Warhammer 40,000, they sell 300 main core game for the biggest event every 3 years. Okay, so let's do math here. Okay, so what's our expectations? Even if we're going to say our expectations are 10%, it's only 10%, or it's actually 10% of what Games Workshop is selling. So again, let's be realistic here. 35,000 units, it's not the problem for us to actually have it and make it in 1 month. I will be I'm gonna be a little bit worried. but it's a different commodity, right? It's not board games commodity. Board games are selling in a huge quantities comparing to tabletop miniatures games, just because the Games Workshop is dominating everything. But they are a logistic company, so they kind of know, and they know how to do it. For us, it's once we reach to 35,000, I'm gonna be, thinking how to get everything done on time and logistically valid. Now, stopping scalpers, I don't think we worry about. Do we worry about scalpers? Do we think there are going to be some scalpers?
Probably. I mean, if we have enough supply for the demand, then scalpers aren't an issue. Because again, scalpers only really appear if there's a mismatch between the price and demand.
So, and also, I'm not really worried about the scalpers in our commodity. I haven't seen them really.
For Games Workshop.
For Games Workshop, you'll find it because they always miss. They always build this a FOMO with selling not enough product to the market and getting people excited about it, and then all of a sudden, store is just getting like 2 or 3 copies, which they ordered like 10. So that's the big one. I mean, we'll see. I mean, you have to bear in mind, like when you go through Games Workshop reports, you will find that they have like 2,000 individual stores, their self-stores, but they only work with additional 6,000 stores. So even like, I don't know, if even like every single store would like to have 2 copies of our game, it's only 12,000 copies. It's, I don't know, guys. It's just like, maybe I don't see the big picture. Maybe there is something, but I don't think we can sell more than 10% of the biggest game event, starter box miniatures game event in tabletop miniatures game. So, which is Games Workshop release of the new edition. Okay, let's have a look more questions here. How tall is Goliath? Goliath is a 3.5 inch, or maybe 4 inch and something. Let me just show you. Where's the painted Goliath? You guys haven't seen the Goliath, haven't you? Keep them entertained, Shimon. I'll go for the Goliath.
When Catalyst Games Labs did the Kickstarter for Battletech Mercenaries, they anticipated $2 million after the end of the campaign. The player base gave them 12 million and was over 2 million in 24 hours. I mean, that's the thing with tabletop miniatures games. It's really, really difficult to estimate, I guess, if your campaign's going to blow up or not. Trench Crusade, again, was also a really, really big surprise for a lot of people. There could be a similar situation with Starcraft. Again, it is a licensed product that's very beloved by a lot of people, including me. I don't know. It's hard to say. Is the testing app feedback looking strictly for balance/rule feedback, or is flavor/naming feedback acceptable? When it comes to like flavor and naming, that's definitely acceptable. If you see a mistake, then please do let us know. I'm also not looking at every single thing that we make because I'm just not as well. I have other responsibilities as well. But yeah, if you do find something, please let us know.
Can you change for the camera? It should still be on. Yeah, so that's the Goliath.
He's missing an arm.
I know. I've got that arm here. There is that arm. It wasn't glued. I just found one in the office on one of the desks. So you have that cabin there, by the way. So you have a pilot. Here we go. That's your pilot. Now you can pose it, repose it. This one is not fully glued, but you can repose it and then glue it the way you want when it's fully assembled. And yeah, so that's how it works. I think we got one painted here by one of our team members, but in general that's where you're gonna find it. Just give me a sec. Szymon, możesz tam przełączyć na coś innego? Wezmę ten drugi model.
Do you expect the game to tend to rock, paper, scissors across factions/sub-factions? well, generally, yes, that is kind of how StarCraft functions, where you have certain unit tags and certain weapons that counter those tags, like like Hellions against light units. Obviously, they need to be more effective against those. So there will be some of that rock paper scissors in the game.
Yeah. So that's one of the painted ones. And hold on 1 second. Let me just get my camera set up properly. Yep. So I would say this is like almost 4 inch. Yeah, to the antennas is 4 inch. So depending how you assemble, you can actually assemble like that on a straight legs. Not very straight legs, but these are the straight legs. And the other one I showed you wasn't. So you have a kind of, you don't have a point jaw here. You have something which we engineered inside. So you can actually, when you assemble, you can click it in and align by 30-degree angle. So yeah, you put them together like you would put kind of toys, of Gundam toys or something like this, and then you just glue it everything inside. And yeah, that's how it is. That's how it works. Now this one is painted by Jacek, one of the rule designers for this game. So yeah, did he paint it? Oh, he did painted cabin. He painted everything, so didn't bother painting anything else inside. So that's the goal I have.
As for the rest of the question, will attached heroes change core approach to the faction or just boost some of the strengths / negate weaknesses? So the attached hero, it just has some abilities. It doesn't fundamentally change the faction. The changes for the faction you're looking at in the faction cards that you select during list building.
Yeah. The Trench Crusade, thing is that it's coming. There's more models and miniatures coming in the future for Trench Crusade, so don't worry about it. It's happening. Do you expect any product cannibalization between the Starcraft and Duskhollow? Oh no, man! This is completely different customers. Like completely different customers. I don't see like so Duskhollow is for RPG systems. So and it always will happen in this factory because the Dungeons and Lasers. This is where everything started, and it's gonna be carry on with it. But it's completely different. Oh, the painted one was sent to Spilvassamere, so yeah. We're on the trade shows at the moment, which is this business-to-business trade show, so but we sent one painted over there.
What is the expected game length between two players who know the rules well? For StarCraft, I believe for a full 2K point game, it's 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it should be 2 hours max. 2 hours, because there's no deployment. You just go into the game straight away, so it cuts a lot of hours. Yeah.
Is there a chance we can see the real ghost ship for Porthaven before the pledge manager closes? I'm on the fence of adding one, as I'm unsure about the type of plastic working on the ship scale. Oh yeah, we showed it just now.
Yeah,
you can like.
You can rewind the
live stream, and we showed it like I don't know how many minutes ago.
A few minutes ago.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Are there any plans to include any sort of league system rules or similar, like match play guidelines? Yeah, so any kind of like tournament rules or competitive rules. We're only going to be doing that a bit later on. Once we, or as we mentioned earlier during the live stream, once we have like a larger base of miniatures that people can choose from, and that's when we're going to like do more competitive oriented stuff. Definitely not at launch. But again, if you want to organize local tournaments, then feel free to do that. Will there be support for bigger game sizes eventually? Me and my friends are talking about playing 4K in a year or two. Yeah, I mean, you can play that way if you want to. You can just increase the starting supply, increase the amount of supply you get per turn, maybe make the map a bit bigger.
Yeah. So we say we provide everything for the small format of the game and the standard format of the game, and we also suggest if you want to play any bigger game, please go for it. You can do anytime you want. You just basically follow the missions you have for the standard game, but you can increase the other things in amount. So you can basically say we're gonna play on 20 supply to start with, and yeah. So that's the beauty about this game. We have so much modes in this game. It's like a sandbox for you.
Is there a chance Factory, Forge, and Bulwark could come to the Heroes of Might and Magic board game? I know Forge is misaligned or is maligned, but I think it's time. Yeah.
There was an announcement just literally a few weeks ago. I don't think we are going to do any narratives books. I don't think so, because I'm a little bit worried about sending those things for the approval. It takes time. Narrative gameplay, it will be as kind of available, which is through campaign, right? So, but it's not going to be specific to like really, really specific in terms of the fluff itself.
Will Duskhollow have some sort of scatter-only pledge for people who don't want the castle?
I think there will be one. We have some scattered terrain.
Through the add-ons?
Yeah, through the add-ons, yes. That's correct, 3 add-ons. So we're going to have to put like FAQ, just make sure that it says in FAQ that it's actually through add-ons.
Will there be any official rules for 2v2 or 3+ player FFA? Or will these standard rules always be explicitly for 1v1? I believe we already have plans for 2v2, right?
Everything is in the book.
Yeah.
So the core books actually explain that you play this is the way you play the game is 1 versus 1. But if you want to play 2 versus 2, please go for it. You just divide the points. There's no specific way of like you need to have some special conditions to play 2 versus 2 or even 3 for all. If you want to play 3 for all, fine. You know, we're gonna go 4 people, 4 armies. Everybody's gonna get a table edge and let's play and see how it goes. So yeah. Have to ask, are you seeing the Masters of Orion? Where's the Master of Orion question? Sorry.
There's one below this one.
Which one? Below?
What's up with Master of Orion? Can you show us some ship models? And is Q2 a safe shipping date?
Yes, Q2 it is. It is. It's actually all the materials are. I mean, the update was just a few days ago. So it's cool. We have everything manufactured. I think I've seen the last plastic tokens. They're doing some last plastic tokens manufacturing, which we need them, and that's it. Actually, it's a good idea to show you everything. However, like Michał told me today, we shipped Master of Orion everything, like full boxes, miniatures, everything to trade show, which they have it on a trade show at the moment. So once they back, I'll have them and I'll show you them.
Yeah, because we haven't actually done unpacking for Master of Orion, because like we haven't. No, we only showed off the pictures on through an update, but we haven't done it on stream yet.
So, but the box is actually there. So I need to get that box, and once they come back, we will show you guys.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing with Orion is that, you know, internally we've done all the manufacturing for the plastic, but unfortunately the paper components which are being made externally were a bit delayed. But, you know, hopefully it won't be too much of an issue.
Yeah. How do you plan to have a pre-recorded demo games? Yes. We will have how to play, very simple how to play in 10 minutes. You can watch in 10 minutes. We'll give you some understanding about how you move your models, everything else. And then we'll have like a proper battle rep. It's simple, because they would have to be made externally. We don't make models for the board games. We only make models on a sprues, on a miniature sprues. So this product needs to be on the miniature sprues. It's a war game, it's a tabletop miniatures game. And as you would design a car, right? You need to have some principles there, and the principles for this type of product and expectations are they need case studies.
It's not just that. There are so many reasons why we're making this internally. You know, it's cheaper for us, it's faster, it's safer, timeline wise, and well, it gives people here in Poland in our office a job. There's a ton of different reasons. Again, as you mentioned, we can't assemble them. That's not really possible. We don't have the manpower. But also, again, it's a hobby product. It's meant to be a kit that you assemble and play with.
Yeah,
that's just the product.
Yeah, and then again, there's lots of case studies about if other companies. Yes, there was one other company which released a licensed tabletop miniatures game because they thought they're gonna do it differently than Games Workshop. So they did like almost push fit models in PVC, so like a board game, and it failed. Basically failed. So hobby is a hobby, and we have to provide products. The people compare apple to apple. Very blue. The ghost ship is very blue.
It is definitely a bit more blue compared to like the Ghost Dragon, for example. But I think the deeper blue gives it like you can see the detail quite a bit more with this blue.
Yeah.
Maybe it looks a bit different on camera, but looking at it, I think the details are much clearer.
Yep. We don't know yet. We haven't put the structure yet there. So yes, we think we should have something like scatter train for those ones who don't want basically more walls. But we haven't got any specific ones.
So, will we be able to use a 6x4 game mat, or is the game only balanced around the size you guys choose? Sizing is a bit weird.
So the sizing, because you get a you get mats from the table. So 6x4 is it's a large table to play the games on. Yes, you can do that. For the bigger game, more than 2,000 points, we don't specify the size of the table, so you can basically go even crazy with it. So it's just like the game's got many options, and we left those doors open for you guys. So if you're going to say, I want to play 2,000 point game, but let's play on a bigger table, fine. It's going to take a little bit more time to actually get in the specific regions, because these distances and everything else are shorter than you will find in other games. Like it's that. And why the table is shorter on the length itself, it's simple. You don't have deployment zone. You bring your models through the edge. So if you now think about other games, they need to have a little bit longer distance between the players because they have deployment edge and they have to pull the models there. So by eliminating deployment zone, we could just chop off that element for that distance. So bring you closer and getting you straight away to the action instead of having this empty entire deployment zone and first round of combat, which most of the cases nothing is happening. Not sure if you mentioned yet, but we shipping work for those in USA. So shipping will be within the USA. Within. What might change? Might change if the tariff is going to be cancelled. So if, depending on the Supreme Court, I mean, we all following and trying to understand what's going on with our big brother, which is at the moment showing some sickness in terms of economic stuff. But if our big brother decided to that tariffs are not the best way to go, then and they go away, we will definitely be shipping from Poland. If not, they're going to be shipping within USA, so you won't be paying any tariffs.
Coming back, do you have any updates on how the translation's going? The game itself is already translated Can we expect the rulebook/manual to be included in the next update? I believe, yeah, translations are being worked on, to my knowledge. Hopefully we should have them for the next update, although I'm not 100% sure on how we're looking on that front.
They finished, they were put in a book, but what they were doing, they were going page by page now, checking everything. So that's what it is. So doing editing, just final editing, just make sure that everything being copied correctly, and yeah. I've seen them do in French language. Do you have any direction for the Prisma ship style you can share with us? Not today. The only one which is shown on the pictures, which were already shown on in the view. As wave 1 print. I know we're doing now wave 2, but there's wave 2 pre-orders are still open. So there's still demand for wave 1. There's still demand probably for wave 2. So I'll check with my team. Since we also accept. Thank you.
I'll just quickly answer the question from Sub. You mentioned limited law to approvals. So for the narrative campaign, it's going to be non-canon. It's basically the way it's going to look is you're just going to pick a faction and you're going to just try to conquer nodes. And there's going to be like some sort of, I guess, story elements on some of the planets that you can maybe conquer. It's not going to be like a retelling of any events in StarCraft.
Yeah. So the campaign, the whole concept for the campaign is to have this campaign to be repeatable. So allow you to go back and play again in different ways and different.
In the future, release like a different campaign that does follow the law.
Yes. Yes. Do you have any rough Gamefound date, and how many themes have you decided on? I think the team decided on eight different teams, so that's quite a lot. It's 8, and the date for the campaign we're looking maybe towards the end of the March, maybe beginning of April, something like that. It needs to be kind of aligned with shipping. So
Duskhollow, do you have any plans to make a clear set for the castle which could serve as stained glass windows?
We were thinking about that. There was idea. If we do that, we have to put it needs to be like a kind of add-on which you put on a window. From outside it's gonna look good. From inside it's gonna be thick. Right, I think we're gonna be finishing for today, guys, because we both feeling like 1 hour and 20 minutes already, and technical issues are technical issues. How about Quake? Is going to play? Is it going to be more like Wolfenstein? No, it's a completely different type of game. Quake is completely different type of game. It's a co-op, and in the same time it could be player versus player. So you have both modes available.
Well, there are different modes. But I think the core. I'm trying to think. I mean, it's just like a battle arena type thing. More closer to the more original Quakes as opposed to like the pure PvP aspect.
Yeah. Just joining in, not sure if I missed it. I'm getting multiple founder sets, the best way to flesh out the army early. I mean, the Founders Edition, if you're gonna go for it, they roughly each of the boxes it's a game in a box, which means you get 1,000 points army. You can start small format. The standard is 2,000 points. So if you're gonna go for both factions, unless you're gonna go for Protoss, then 2 boxes give you like entire army. I think, realistically speaking, that's gonna be one of the most affordable tabletop miniatures game nowadays. One of them. For the level of models miniatures you will find on a table. So sometimes you'll find skirmish being extremely crazy. For $200 you're gonna have to. You don't even have army. Here for $200 you have 2 Founders Edition Proto starter box, and that's 2,000 points game. This is like standard game. So what you might need in the future, maybe 1 or 2 add-ons, like Stalkers, or maybe something else in the future which we're going to list, and that's it.
Will you
only available through starter boxes? We're not going to be selling individually. Yes, I need to clear the setting and everything else, making sure there is no additional traffic on this computer. Absolutely stressed out. Absolutely, like. I cannot sleep. I cannot eat. Well, I do eat when I stress out. I eat a lot, but it's just mayhem. At the moment, in my brain, it's just completely mayhem. Any chance to getting promo models for Masters of the Universe in the future? Yes, there is something special for that projects in the future. You know, the movie's coming. I'm not going to be talking much, but you know, guys, movie's coming out. So, and we had some discussions with Mattel about the future. So that's good. Hey, close the windows in the office. You are letting out all the Wi-Fi out. Yes, that might be the case.
What sub-faction are you guys most excited to start working on personally, and why is it not Tal'Darim?
Shimon?
Oh, for me, I mean, it's I don't know. I don't know. I really like how he plays in co-op. I usually pick the Lone Wolf Prestige, and I just go around the map killing everything, which is very funny.
Yeah. For me, it's Kerrigan. Always will be. My love.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's my childhood love. Any new miniatures planned for Trench Crusade? Yes, we did announce 3 set of miniatures for Trench Crusade, and they are in works and gonna be available. They're going to be available in March. So that's that. Okay, guys, I think we just ran out of steam, like physically. Thank you for joining us. The next AMA is in 2 weeks' time, unless something else changed, like all of a sudden we decided to do pre-orders for Starcraft, which we will let you know in advance. Definitely
launch stream, yeah.
Launch stream for Starcraft. So something which I plan to have it and plan to do.
I believe you also mentioned
during the launch time, something like that. Something like that. We're definitely gonna do that. So we want to see for how long our page is gonna happen again, but I don't know. So we spoke also with Gamefound to allow, you know, doing pre-orders through Gamefound. It's not going to be campaign, by the way, it's just pre-orders. They have this feature on the Gamefound page which allows you to take pre-orders. So option number 1 will be our store, option number 2 will be other our store, and option number 3 for pre-orders will be the Gamefound store. It's a disaster. It just killed both stores and we couldn't figure it out what's happening, and one of the store was down for like 3 hours, 4 hours, and the other store was down for a couple of hours as well. So if that happened again, then obviously we have to figure it out find some solutions. Anyway, thank you for joining us today. Yes, we will do with next AMA. Master of Orion will definitely gonna show you on the next AMA unboxing. I will get my camera working, I will get everything working properly, so just want to make sure that you're gonna see everything. Thank you, and see you guys in 2 weeks time.